hijab to Bajrang Bali to quota to 40% Sarkar claim. No stone has been unturned by key contenders to win the votes of the people of Karnataka. After weeks of bitter election fighting, votes have finally been cast today, and now starts the wait for the results that will come in on the 13th of May. But meanwhile, we have exit polls. Exit polls project an estimate of which party will get how many seats in the election on the basis of interviews conducted at polling booths with voters after they have cast their vote. This data is then extrapolated and a number is arrived at. It's an estimate at best, and while some get it right, many do not. Either way, in the days before the votes are actually counted, it gives some a reason to celebrate and others a chance to say exit polls are often wrong. So what do the polls say today? We have picked polls conducted by 5 top broadcasters to get a sense of what the prediction is, and then arrived at an average or a poll of polls. Now, to form a government in Karnataka, 224-seat assembly, a party needs at least 113 seats. The Times Now ETG poll predicts the Congress will touch the majority mark of 113, while the BJP will get 85, the JDS will have 23 seats. As per the ABP News C voter poll, Karnataka is headed for possibly a hung assembly. Congress does get single largest party at 106, but doesn't make it to the halfway mark. BJP gets 89 in this particular poll, and JDS has 25. India Today, My Access has predicted a huge lead for the Congress with the BJP. It's 131 for the Congress on average. Remember, most of these pollsters have given a range. So we're giving you the average of that range and then a poll of polls. So the India Today My Access poll says the Congress will have about 131 seats on average, 71 for the BJP and 22 for the JDS. Karnataka will see a fractured mandate as per the Republic TVP Marque poll as well. They say the Congress will cross the 100-seat mark and have handed 92 seats for the BJP. The JDS is tipped to get 28. The Z News poll pegs the Congress to win at 108 seats, so not the halfway mark, hung house again. BJP 86, JDS 28. So if I was to take these top 5 polls and looked at the average gives the Congress 113, the BJP 85, and the JDS 23 seats. Now, there are 2 other polls as well that have given BJP the lead. These are outliers. So you have Suvarna News Jan Ki Baat that have handed 106 seats to the BJP, not an outright majority, but single largest party. 99 to the Congress and 19 to the JDS. News Nation CGS poll has predicted that the BJP will cross the majority mark with 114 seats, and Congress will get 86. JDS will win 21. So, of course, if you add these and others, then those averages change. But what's the big story? What's the key takeaway? First, most exit polls have today predicted a hung assembly, which brings the focus back to the JDS that has played kingmaker several times in the past after elections in Karnataka. Will it reprise that role again? Second, 3 prominent pollsters have predicted a clean win for the Congress, but that's just about over the average, the halfway mark, except for the India Today poll. Will that be enough to push back against horse trading, which unfortunately is also a very predictive feature in Karnataka politics? Number 3, 2 pollsters have predicted the BJP will be the single largest party. Will those outliers be proven correct on election day? So why does this election matter so much? It is, after all, a state election for one state. Well, it matters because Karnataka is an economic powerhouse, a coveted state for any party that is fighting the next general election. It's the BJP's only bastion in the south that they will be keen to hold on to. For the Congress, a win in Karnataka is a much-needed boost ahead of the next general elections. It also gives a sense of the mood of voters ahead of Lok Sabha elections in 2024. And it's one of the big state elections this year that will help gauge the mood of the nation, which is why such a variety of views and responses to the exit polls. Listen in.
I stand by my number. I will cross 146. There is no doubt. I know the work what we have done. We have not slept for a day. You saw me. I was exhausted. But you had to follow me. I could not even stand on my vehicle. That was my situation. And the people also have confidence on us. They want a change in Karnataka, for a better Karnataka, for a progressive Karnataka, for a corruption-free Karnataka.
Last 5 years, Congress leaders at all levels, and including the booth workers, have been working on this. And there was an excellent groundwork, and with the leaders working day in and day out, going around like a hurricane tours they conducted and communicated what is Congress and what is our package for the election, and the election manifestos have been quite attractive. And if there is a very, very, despite the tour, hurricane tour of Amit Shah or Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the anti-incumbency with which the BJP has been suffering, they could not remove it.
Exit poll, I think there is some small error in the whole thing, because exit polls are very urgently done. And however, having respect for all the surveys, I want to mention that certainly BJP will come on its own comfortable majority. In previous also, a lot of exit polls have been proved wrong. This time also it will be proved wrong.
So one more question, sir. Our editor is asking, if there is a hung assembly, will we going to for JDS?
There is no question of hung assembly. That is not in our listing. These are all hypothetical questions, and I will not answer this.
You will come back to power, your confidence?
100% I will come back to power with our own majority.
Wait and see after the result. Even now I am 100% confident, because I have governed of the state and I know the pulse of the people of Karnataka. Even now I am telling you that we are going to get absolute majority and we are going to form the government. According to me, we are going to get absolute majority. The question of hung assembly does not arise at all.
All right, to speak to me more on the numbers today, I'm joined by Piyush Tanwar of ETG Research. Head Ashwini Shankar is speaking with me today. He's spokesperson of Karnataka BJP. Dhruv Jati, spokesperson of Congress in the state, is with me. I'm also speaking with M. Arivalagan, spokesperson of the JDS, and Manu Aiyappa. He's a political editor of the Times of India in Bengaluru. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us today on the show. Let me go to the BJP representative first on the show. Mr. Shankar, what do you make of the numbers? Are you going to say more than all exit polls are wrong? And would you say the same if it was reversed?
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I would like to make it very clear that whatever we are seeing today, it is exit polls, not exact polls. So we have even previously looked into the polls, the surveys that were done in Gujarat as well as in Uttar Pradesh elections, the exit polls. So what happened there? After the counting, what happened? What was the scenario there? It was totally toppled. So here also it repeats. So let us wait for May 13, because in Karnataka, the voters are highly matured enough and they are fed up about the dynasty politics and the corruption charges on the Congress leaders in the state, as well the opportunistic politics that JDS does every time. The voters are matured enough to choose the right party. And if at all, in these years, throughout the history of the Karnataka politics, if you see, if at all any maximum administration and maximum benefit for the people of Karnataka has happened, the development has happened in Karnataka, it is only during the BJP government's time, because we have the double engine government and we have given the maximum benefit to the people of Karnataka. And that was reflected during our campaigns, even when the Prime Minister of India, Honorable Modi ji, when he
we'll have to
visited
see, ma'am.
Karnataka,
We'll have to see if that's what the people of Karnataka believe. The exit polls don't seem to be showing that. We'll have to see if that's what the people of Karnataka believe. Just give me a second, please. I'm going to...
majority, sweeping majority.
Well, we'll have to see, won't we? I mean, that's a claim you're making. I don't know. I don't know what the voters have decided. We have prefaced this entire discussion saying that this is right now in the realm of speculation. No one knows this, nor does Nivedith Alva. Mr. Alva, welcome to Be on the Headline. Thank you for speaking with us today. You're looking happy, so I think you're pleased with what the exit polls are saying. But the other commentary on that is that even if you do make it to 113, 120, it's not going to be enough. Knowing how Karnataka politics works, are the resorts being readied? Can you hold on to those seats is going to be the big question. Has the Congress underperformed as per your claims of 150, if I go by these polls?
Sorry, I just connected, so I don't know what your poll is saying. Okay, it's 113. No, I don't believe that. We're going to be way over that. I came in time to hear the BJP spokesperson talk about the twin-engine government and all that had been delivered. And I'm not sure which city she's based in or what she's speaking, because when you're on the ground, even when you go into the smallest of villages, all they're talking about is the 40% government and the fact that that contractors wrote multiple letters to the Honorable Prime Minister and they got no returns, no replies on that. Price rise, the price of gasoline, the price of gas, cooking gas, are all huge issues on the ground. And we have gone to the polls this time with a development-oriented agenda, a positive agenda, and I see us definitely crossing more than 130 seats for sure.
Mr. Alva, what do you think would have worked for the Congress? Right now already, you know, the post-mortem which has begun, and of course, prefacing that we don't know if this is going to be the result. Is it the local leadership that has worked? And is there a concern that a fight might break out if the Congress party does win in who will be the next chief minister?
What I'm amazed about is that every time there is a Congress government formation, the amount of speculation that happens about how and why and how we are going to go about choosing our chief minister is much more debated in the media than it is within. There is a clear system in the party, first of all, that once, as and when and if it happens, the newly elected MLAs basically decide who the chief minister is. That being aside, to answer your earlier question, we hit the ground running way before. The guarantees that we put forward as on our agenda and on our manifesto have resonated with the people of Karnataka, especially with the women of Karnataka, because they are the ones dealing with daily issues of price rise and running their homes and finding it impossible to make ends meet. Right, and the fact that the entire state leadership this time has been united in its fight against the BJP is proof of that. If you just look at the number of leaders who left the BJP in the last month, they probably had more people resigning than they had filing nominations. On top of that, the other thing I just want to say is please do put on record everything that the BJP spokesperson has said about the JDS, because as and when and if that was to arise, they'd be the first persons who would be running straight to the JDS door. So please keep that, save it. It'll be of use.
Are you going to put on record that in under no circumstances will the Congress be running to the JDS door?
I have never said any of that. As per your exit poll, which we are looking at, we are not going to need anybody else at all. And we believe we're not going to need anybody else at all.
So, Mr. Alva, in all fairness, you said why does the media always ask about, you know, infighting and who will be the chief minister if it's a Congress government that may come to power? And I will just point you to the events of the day before the voting, where in Rajasthan, you have Mr. Sachin Pilot once again open fire on the chief minister Ashok Gehlot. So it's quite logical to ask if the same thing will happen.
I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with this. This is a state election in a different state where we have gone to the polls under the joint leadership of our PCC President Shri D.K. Shivakumarji and our CLP leader Siddaramayaji. And that is what is the united leadership. So there is no reason to try and compare what is happening in a different state thousands of kilometers away to issues here. It has nothing to do with that at all. right? And that's the way it should be, because we're focused on Karnataka. The election has just happened today, and we have
Sure.
so far.
No, I was just, Mr. Alva, I was just coming back to you on the point that you made, that why you asking me if there will be a fight, between Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK
No, why I'm saying that?
after.
Why I'm saying that is
So that, which is why I'm asking, because it happened in Rajasthan.
Why I'm saying that is because the media discusses it a lot more than it is discussed even within the party, right? And within the party, both our central leadership and our state leadership have always made it very clear that in the Congress party, after the elections are held and after, as and when the time comes, the newly elected MLAs will, in their CLP meeting, decide who the chief minister will be. And that happens. There is a system, there is a way in which it is done, and that has always been followed. So, I mean, it is not up for discussion as of now. So what's the point? Right? There is no discussion on that as of now. Because
Mr. Alva, let me ask you about the bigger picture.
Yes.
If Congress does win in Karnataka, what does it mean in the run-up to 2024? Will it be a huge shot in the arm for your party ahead of a big general election? And does it also underline the importance of the strategy that you've used in Karnataka, which is focus on the local?
Yes, see, because state elections are actually fought on the local, because states like Karnataka, there have been times where you had one government here, but they voted completely the other way for the Lok Sabha, right? It's happened multiple times before. So state issues are state and central issues are central, and the electorate is smart enough and understand what the issues are on the ground with stuff they face on a daily basis versus matters of national interest. Having said that, yes, it will be for us a huge shot in the arm. Not just this, there are other state elections coming up later in the year. So Karnataka being the first one off the block will definitely, for sure, be a shot in the arm for us, to answer your question. Yes, it will.
Okay. You talked about what the BJP spokesperson said. And in all fairness, I must give her an opportunity to respond to what you said, Mr. Alva, if you're willing to listen to that.
Sure, no issues at all. Go ahead.
Yes. Ms. Ashwini, you heard Mr. Alva. He's saying that 40% Sarkar was the problem for the BJP. He's, of course, taking these polls at face value. Do you think at the end of the day, all the talk about quota cancellation, about hijab, etc., did not make the cut?
The allegations has been made by Congress from past 6 months to 8 months down. But till now, they have failed to produce any one single proof about that. So they have just been, doing allegations unnecessarily on BJP, but they have no proof on that. And let me tell you one more thing. Let me make it very clear. This time, the people of Karnataka will never allow Congress, the state, to become an ATM of the High Command of Congress. Okay, so they have decided, and on May 13th, we will show what the mandate is, what the people of Karnataka stand for, whom they have given the clear mandate. Because the state, the people of the state are fed up. Whatever they have seen during 2013 to 2018, more than 35,000 crore rupees scams.
But okay, can I ask you, one minute, Ms. Ashwini, can I ask you a question? I know Mr. Alva wants to respond, but can I ask you a question? And this is a serious one. If the people are fed up, wouldn't they be fed up of what happened in the last 5 years? Why would anti-incumbency skip one whole, assembly session and go back to 2013? They would be very happy with you from 2018. Why will they remember what happened in 2013?
As such, there is no anti-incumbency in the state at all. Anti-incumbency arises only when people are not happy about the government of, the government that has given the administration previously. There is no anti-incumbency. And as you know, BJP is the only party who is giving candidates, the fresh candidates, more than 70 members are the fresh candidates. It is not like the Congress party having and believing only in appeasement politics and the dynasty politics. So we have brought new faces, and we have given chances to the new candidates who deserve to be there and who are capable of giving a wonderful
Mr. Alva, your response.
Mr.
Alva, your response. Mr. Alva, your response.
4 points. The first is, it was not the Congress party that said 40% Sarkara. It was the contractors of Karnataka who wrote repeated letters to the Prime Minister. It was not us that made the allegation. The second point
It's been
was
continuously
on
made by
One
the
by
Congress.
one, ma'am. One by one. He didn't interrupt you. One by
Sorry
one,
to
please.
interrupt.
No issues. Thank you.
The
Yes.
second point was she raised about fresh faces in dynastic politics. If you look at the BJP list, I think there are more than 10 or 12 or 14, I don't know how many names, where basically husband has been replaced by wife, father has been replaced by son. So let's not even go down that route. Okay, the third thing is that you're right. I mean, they're talking about things from about corruption in ATM. It was not the Congress which said things about BJP being an ATM, but their own leader, Baswaraj Yatnal, who gave a price tag to what was paid for Baswaraj Bommai to become chief minister, what he was supposed to have paid and why he could not become chief minister. This was all said by their own senior leader from the Kalyan Karnataka region. And more importantly, after all that he said, no action was taken against him by the BJP or by anyone. He was not expelled. There was not been a letter sent to him. And these are all the allegations made by him, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. So as for a state being an ATM, I mean, let's not even go down that route. We know how the government, the JDS Congress government,
sorry to
we know how
interrupt.
the MLAs went to Bombay. We know all that happened.
Okay.
So let's not even go down that road, because that's, I mean, it's not worth having that discussion at this point of time, because those who need to know. I mean, it's
Right.
just, it doesn't make sense.
The former Speaker of Congress, Mr. Ramesh Kumar, has that we have earned so much that we have earned for 3 to 4 generations whatever is needed. Now it is the time for us to pay for the Congress High Command. We have to take care of them. We have to
Okay. Was corruption an issue? All right.
Why has he to say that?
Earning is not only earning is not only monetary, madam.
Public platform.
Earning is not only earning. Okay, earning is not only.
All right, please.
You earn in many ways, such as your emotional, mental, physical. There's a lot of ways. It's not emotional. He never said money once. He said we've earned a lot.
Is corruption an issue? Was 40% Sarkara? We don't know what's going to happen. So let's leave it at that. We don't know what's going to happen. So let's leave it at that. Is 40% Sarkara going to be an issue? Is hijab going to be an issue? Is the Congress inclusion in its manifesto that it will ban the Bajrang Dal going to be an issue? Is the quota change going to be an issue? We have to wait and see how this all pans out. And Mr. Alva, I want to thank you for joining us on the show. And of course, we'll wait and see what the result says. But let me go across to Piyush. Thank you, Mr. Alva. Let me go across to Mr. Piyush Tanwar to break down the numbers. Piyush, why such a lack of clarity after the numbers? If I was just looking objectively at all the polls, it would seem to me that everyone's really playing it safe. There are very big ranges that everyone's given. Most of the polls, in fact, have an either-or kind of a situation. Ye bhi ho sakta hai, wo bhi ho sakta hai. Is it because the information coming from the ground, the data coming from the ground is also clouded?
Yes, exactly. So I would like to say that, first of all, like out of 224 seats, which what we got is around 50 seats are a battleground. It's a neck and neck fight. So they like at the day of results, we may get those seats. Any candidate who's winning or any party who's winning, they might just win with a very slight margin. So even if any of the polling agency, they may take thousands and thousands of samples, still they cannot arrive at the conclusion. So that is one of the points, because if you see each seat in Karnataka, it's an own, it's kind of own election, like own state assembly election. What I mean to say is each seat has its own social engineering, caste engineering, and their own local issues, candidates. So it's not the entire, seeing a bigger, just from the surface of the Karnataka, and you can predict, what is going to, what will be the outcome. You have to go, at least touch each and every seat, understand what are the, caste equations, which caste incline towards which party, what are the local issues. So, all this, it's a kind of a, it's all jumbled up, like each and every seat is up for a fight there. So at least 50 to 60 seats, I would say, are a battleground seats for us, or any of the polling agencies. So that's what I'm saying. You take, usually, we take 1,000, 1,500 samples, but you go take 10,000, 15,000 samples, still you cannot arrive at the conclusion, because at the end of the day, when the result comes, they might be winning with 1%, 2% margin, and that comes under your margin of error.
What is your sense in this election? One sec. What is your sense in this election, Piyush? ETG has given, Congress 113. They're on the halfway mark. What is your margin of error? What is your margin of error over here? And would you describe this as a photo finish, as a close contest or a clear win?
No. So that's what, like, say, when you take a poll of polls, usually you take medians. So medians is like, it's easy. You add 106 and you add 120, you get a 113. But that doesn't mean the range. So range doesn't mean that it's a median in your 113 seats Congress is going to win. It means that 106 seats where we are much more confident, there's a lower limit, where we are much more confident that Congress will, pull off those seats. But how up they can go? Like, as I mentioned, that there is a lot of seats where there is a battleground or neck and neck fight. So obviously, if Congress pull off, they may go, above, like they may go above 100, they may go to 113, they may, touch 120 as well. So that is why there's a range. So saying like, they'll get 113 is like, we stand by our numbers, but saying 113 is just a median.
Okay.
So, yes,
So it's a median. There is a range. Yeah. Everyone wants to play it safe. Everyone wants to play it safe. And frankly, I understand that because it's going to be difficult to stick your neck out at the end of the day and, say this is an exact number. Mr. Jatti, Mr. Dhruv Jatti also with us today. What do you think will be the challenge if the Congress does win this election with the numbers being projected right now? Yes, it's a win, but knowing the state of Karnataka and the history of the state of Karnataka, we saw what happened in 2018 as well. The biggest fight seems to be after any election for a party to hold on to its MLAs. Has the Congress already started ring-fencing its winners?
No, not at all. I don't think so. That's a question to arise because that only comes in place when there's a fractured mandate. However, when most surveys are showing the Congress to be in majority, I don't think such a question arises. So when we speak about what's in store for the Congress, I think we're talking about the next 5 years of good governance, the next 5 years of recovery from, the different brutal assaults that the Bharatiya Janata Party had on the people of Karnataka. We're speaking about what I would say an assault on what happened during COVID. So it's 5 years of great governance that the Congress is going to promise. And yeah, that's what we're all looking forward to. I know these exit polls are taken from small sort of sampling sizes, and 13th is going to be more of a decisive day for all of us to look into. However, most people, Kannadigas, I'll explain to you a small chronology. So 31 million people in Karnataka come from socially backward classes. So when we had the Congress government back before 2018, we had a bunch of welfare schemes. After 2018, you had the Bharatiya Janata Party that came in through a fractured mandate. They bought MLAs, etc. But then they went on to, cancel the Annabhagya scheme where they made the 10 kgs of rice, 5 kgs, and then they went on to change the name of Indira Canteen and also scrap that out entirely. So when you have what I would say a state that is socio-economically backward, and you have schemes like this that is, turning into fray, and then you have the COVID, and during that point of time, Kannadigas had sleepless nights.
What is the point you're trying to make, Mr. Jatti? Campaign is over.
The point I'm trying to make is very simple. No, the point I'm trying to make is very simple. The exit polls are based on a very simple example. That is, people chose development over issues such as Azad, Hijab, Tipu, Savarkar.
But there are also two polls which show that the BJP is winning. Are you willing to accept those as well?
The only poll I am willing to accept is that of 13th May. However, I think it's important that we look at thus of the majority, and thus of the majority polls show a clean mandate for the Congress party, and I think that's the mood of the camp today.
Most of the polls do show Congress as a single largest party, but maybe a little short of the full mandate. And we'll have to wait and see, because if it's a range, which way it swings. These things are unpredictable eventually. Let me go to the JDS spokesperson. Sir, in every election, especially if it's hung, the role of the JDS comes into question. Is there any clear position right now on what kind of a role the JDS will play?
Whatever the exit poll and free poll, whatever it is shown in TV, another 2 days the BJP will come in happy mode. But everything will come to on a picture on 13. Hope so. Definitely JDS will form the government with simple majority. Even though whatever we are getting, what they are showing you 23, 28, that all, that is not the exact picture. Even the last time in 2018, many of the channels are given us 18, 19, but we got around 38. And we formed the government. That is different scenario. Here there is 0% contribution of Congress and BJP to the people of Karnataka. So our CM candidate Kumaran has reached all parts to each and every poor people of the village. Definitely, I hope so. JDS will form the government with simple majority 113 crossing it. Why? Because see, always exit poll cannot be, always it cannot be true. Even
So what are you saying? What are you saying? Are you saying JDS will get a simple majority?
101% will get simple majority.
But when have you got it last, sir?
Madam, 96 we have been won. We have,
yes.
That was Janata Party also. 96 we won. And what about BJP? BJP never has come to the power in Karnataka in its own leg. And they have come through back doors. And regarding Congress, I don't want to tell also. Why? Because their failure is the one which has merged BJP into the power in Karnataka last time. So whatever it is, the entire scenario is different. On 13th of this day, of this month, definitely it will be a very good day for the people of Karnataka as well as our concerned JDS party.
Okay, I want a response from Ashwini Shankar of the BJP to the claims being made by the JDS spokesperson. Ma'am, do you think that you will have to call upon the JDS? All right, I seem to have lost her line, but we will go and ask her view in just a short while from now. I also have with me Manu Aiyappa. He's a political editor at Times of India of Bengaluru. Manu, thank you so much for your patience and for joining us on the show today. What have you made of election day and the mood on the ground?
Mood on the ground is very confusing, and even before the elections, there was a lot of confusion whether the anti-incumbency will work, whether the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Shah's rhetoric of development and double engine will work. And now all the 11 exit polls show different figures, and they all have added more into the confusion now. So the Congress is upbeat about these exit polls, and obviously BJP is not. So we all will know on May the 13th. But my reading on this is Congress was always ahead even before the elections. And whether the question now is whether they'll cross that simple majority mark of 113. That is the big question. And the things that I see that worked in favor of Congress is not the corruption or any other issue. It's basically the inflation, and rightly so. The Congress has made use of that inflation sentiment, and they've largely focused on those 5 poll guarantees based on those sentiments. However, it looks like more of a freebies, and how they will make it through the budget is a different question. But as of now, that has worked for them.
Absolutely. We're going to take a very short break. And of course, we're going to wait for election result day on the 13th to see what actually unfolds. Today is, in a sense, a day of speculation. The Congress saying that they agree with the exit polls. They'll form a majority. Will that happen or not will have to be seen. On the other side, we're talking about what's happening in Pakistan. Chaotic scenes are unfolding, and the army has been called in to quell deadly violence. Reports of at least 4 killed already in Peshawar.
Lahore!